I pledge to stay drug-free.
I plan to stay drug-free.
I pledge to stay drug-free.
I pledge to be drug-free.
I pledge to stay drug-free.
And good afternoon, and welcome to Exlpose Under The Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. I am your host, Darwin Griffin, and you will be able to listen to a great special guest that I have on the show. Her name is Rosemary Wilson, a.k.a. One Single Rose. But those of you that may have heard of her will definitely understand why I had to make certain that she was a guest to be on my show today. And those of you who have not heard of her, shame on you, but you will definitely not be able to say after this half an hour that you have not heard of her and you have not been enlightened, because you're going to be created with a very, very special words of encouragement that she gives. I definitely would be remiss if you'd like to join in our conversation. Our call-in numbers are area code 313-868-0342, 313-868-0351, or 313-868-4336. And our website is www.tv33whpr.com. And you are watching us live from the awesome city of Highland Park, Michigan, and under the auspices of the Honorable Mayor Hubert Yap. And we want to thank WHPR, Mr. R.J. Watkins, and Henry Tyler for allowing us to spend this half an hour with you. If you would also like to get an opportunity to go, and let me just express, this has been an interesting last couple of days because of the fact that I know all of you have probably heard about the passing of the great Kobe Bryant, who passed away in a tragic helicopter accident couple of days ago. And you know, the thing is just that, as a lot of people understand too, it's important to make sure that you love and you let your loved ones know how much you care about them, because tomorrow is not promised. You know, Mr. Bryant was taking his 13-year-old daughter to a basketball practice, and you know, had no idea in terms of, say, of anything that was going to happen that would have caused the type of trauma that beset him, his daughter, as well as the other 7 people that were on the helicopter. So we definitely want to extend our prayers, our sympathies and condolences to the Bryant family, his wife Vanessa and his other 3 daughters, as well as the entire basketball family, the Lakers organization, and everyone else. So there's been a lot of outpouring of support for his family, and we definitely want to let you know too that we are keeping you in our prayers, and we want to let you know too we love you. And again, I encourage everyone, let your loved ones know you love them as well, because tomorrow is not destined and it's not given. So please reach out to somebody today and let them know. Plus, I also want to make mention, good friend of mine, Mr. Johnny Gibson. He had the Gibson's Lounge up on Puritan near Myers, and I want to send my sympathies and condolences to Nancy and his 3 daughters and his son. Just to mention too that I know KK, his youngest daughter, celebrated a birthday, and it was sad that she had to celebrate a birthday, but also had to see her father make his transition at the same time as well. So also prayers and sympathies and condolences go out to the Gibson family as well too. They were a mainstay in the Northwest area, right there near Gibson's Lounge, and they also had the Party Store right there, one of our black-owned businesses that was in business for a long, long time, the lounge as well as the Party Store. So, Mr. Gibson, we'd like to definitely let you know that we salute you, and we will look to see you one day. And I appreciate you for all of the things, the encouragement and the inspiration that you've given me throughout all the years. One of the things that I used to think about too with Mr. Gibson, every time I used to go to his lounge and take my staff, I felt like Norm in Cheers, because when I would come in the door, he would, Mr. Griffin. So, I would always look, and it's like, I got my same booth in the back. Yes, it's there. So had the corner booth in the back, so me and my staff could come back there, and we could go and we could network, we could congregate, and we could just socialize with everybody. So he would come over to the table and he would sit with us, and I felt special. So he was a special person. He came to my father's transition when my father passed away. And again, I definitely want to let the family know how much he meant to me. And I definitely go and send a outpouring of love and support to the family. Lastly, just want to make this other announcement too. We've been having several people come on the show and talk about human trafficking and sex trafficking. So I just want to let you know there's an important workshop that's going to be going on. It's talking about human trafficking and sexual victimization, and it's entitled Breaking the Chains. So, people don't realize too that human trafficking is the world's largest growing crime. And tomorrow, Wednesday, the 29th of January, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, the Kiwanis Club, Metro Detroit, as well as with St. Matthew's and St. Joseph's Episcopal Church at 8850 Woodward on the corner of King. They're having a workshop there, and they're sponsoring a young lady who's going to speak. Her name is Tara Kane, and she's the law enforcement trainer for the state of Michigan, and she's also the interim dean of the College of Natural and Social Sciences at Madonna University. And she'll come and she'll talk about human trafficking facts as well as some of the statistics. She's also going to talk about offender and the victim profiles. She's also going to talk about the different signs and the systems of some of the victims, the symptoms that the victims may have, as well as some of the signs to show if you have been victimized, and also to give you some of the local resources for referrals and support, for persons that may have been victimized by this heinous crime. And also a lot more information will be disseminated out as well. But they'd like for you to RSVP, and if you have more questions and you'd like to call this number, 313-333-8355, and it can give you more information. So I just want to let Mita Olivia know that we hope that this is going to be a very, very enlightening opportunity for people that may have questions to get an opportunity to go and find out more about this heinous crime of sex trafficking. And we want to stop someone from doing this, and we want to stop somebody from having this crime be committed upon them. Okay. I can kind of catch my breath for a minute and put that responsibility on my guest. We were at a fundraiser for Southeast Michigan Jobs with Justice on Sunday down at the Swords into Plowshares. If you haven't been down there, make sure you go down there too. That's a very beautiful facility. It's an art gallery, but they have a lot of pieces there that tell a story. But the lady I've got on my show today, she tells a lot of stories. And her name is Rosemary Wilson, and I will say AKA, or otherwise known as, One Single Rose. Miss Wilson.
You may not have heard about me. My pen pushes positivity. I write for everybody. I'm one single rose from the 313. You may not have heard about me, My pen pushes positivity. I write for everybody. I'm one single rose and I'm a POET. Welcome to Her One Woman Show. It's an ongoing broadcast that's always on air. There will never be any cancellation or procrastination. This is a can't stop, won't stop, production. Produced by a black girl making magic. She makes the bread. She bakes the bread. She serves it up to fill bellies of the undeserving on the finest china, knowing nothing about me time because her plate's always filled with something to do for someone else. You'd think this woman was a ringmaster the way she juggles through her days, multitasking as the CEO of everyone's destiny except hers. Energized like that bunny, rocking while we roll, trying to keep her pockets on swole. She can't afford to get sick or is hitting that lick, so she'll keep on ticking like a Timex wound up on borrowed time. Someone put a spell on her. Matrix moves with X-ray vision fail to block venom from penetrating her veins. She ignores the sting, walking around for days and a days with an IQ that exceeds brilliance, but she does the dumbest stuff, battering her crown, wearing herself down, forgetting to look out for number one. Riding for her in the morning, maybe even dying for him by nightfall. But every morning she'll rise, undefeated, ready to take on the world, fueled with love from the Creator pumping through her purple heart. He crowned her a queen. But this woman won't sit back or relax. She picks up her people slack, 'cause she's a black girl who works magic. Her life's a haunted fairy tale. As the pages turn, she longs for a happy ending, not realizing she's writing the book with power to dictate how it ends. I give you one single rose.
Well, we need to have a long applause to go along with that. That was excellent. I mean, you know, I'm really amazed at what is your source of inspiration, Miss Wilson?
Real life, things that I see in the news, things that I've experienced, things that my friends have experienced, just basically my surroundings. Life makes way for some of the best art.
So if there's some, you know, we got a lot of talent here in the city of Detroit.
Yes, we do.
Give some of the encouragement that you could give in terms of, say, of how you were encouraged to write some of your gifts that you put on paper and that you translated into your voice. Mm-hmm. Give some inspiring words and tips that you could give to some of our young people that may have aspirations to be like you. When they grow up, they want to be like you, do like what you do. But what can you kind of tell them to kind of help them get over whatever those obstacles or hurdles that they may have encountered?
Well, for me, I had to get over myself. I wrote my first book in 2009, and it took me a year and a half to actually start sharing my pieces on stage. And as soon as I found that faith, and I stepped out on faith, it's like the world opened, and I've been going nonstop ever since. So we have to let go of our fears. We have to pursue our passions fearlessly and just be unapologetically true to yourself and stay true to who you are.
So now you do a lot of, so you've been doing this since how long?
Officially since 2010. That's when my spoken word journey began. I wrote my first book in 2009.
Okay. And what are some of the books that you've written?
My first book was One Single Rose, Poetry Blossom from a Rose Core, which is basically lyrical rhyme. Mm-hmm. My second book is One Single Rose, Out of Darkness into Light, more spoken word pieces, stepping out of darkness, finding your own light, stepping out with faith. Basically just like in your face type poems. Just these were messages to myself that I needed to release my fears, to continue my poetic and my artistic journey. I also have 2 CDs, 2 DVDs of my stage plays, and
you say stage plays?
Yes.
Tell about those stage plays real quick, and then I'll let you finish what you were saying. Go ahead.
Okay. In 2014, I produced a play called Addiction.
Okay.
And 2018, Addiction Part 2, I'm Addicted 2, came out. And right now I'm writing Part 3. I'm not sure what I'm going to name it yet, but it is in the works. And that will be released in 2021.
So now, with these plays, are they? Where are the venues at where you had these plays, where they were performed at?
Addiction was at the Bowl Family YMCA downtown, and I'm Addicted 2 was at the Motown, no, I'm sorry, the Motor City Youth Theater in Livonia.
Okay.
And they were small venues, but we sold out every show. And we just did a screening for my play at the Lightbox Performance in December, and we sold out that as well. And people are asking when we're going to do it again. So probably this summer I may stage another screening.
Well, I hope that you'll come back on the show again and
Yes.
talk about that before, so that we can make sure that that's going to be another sellout performance.
Okay, thank you. I
as well.
appreciate it.
And now, also too, so now if somebody wants to get more information about Rosemary Wilson, her upcoming events, plays that she may be having perform, or even they would like to audition for some of your plays,
Yes.
how can they get in contact with you?
You can find me at One Single Rose. That's ONESingleRose.com, and on all social media platforms. My phone number is 313-451-2571. You can also go to my website, and there's links to that will take you everywhere that I just told you about.
So now, you get up now. Aren't there any fears that you have even now when
Yes.
you get up there and do that? I mean, because it's like before we started the show, I'm seeing you and I'm looking at you and I'm like, wow, I'm wondering. I would be nervous if I had to go and remember every line, every verse
Yes.
that you have, but you say it so effortlessly.
Thank you.
And I mean, it seems like it just was something that just comes off like natural, just comes out of your mouth. And what's the phrase that the young people say? What is it? They call it spitting. Is that what the
Yes,
phrase is now?
yes,
So
yes.
is that what you do, or is it something that you just recite poetry? What would your terminology be? I know you say you're a poet, but is there any type of spitting rhymes at the same time too, or is it like the young people say?
Yes, I do. I do rap. I got bars. So that's what they call it too. I got bars. I began as an author of poetry, which took me into spoken word, which took me into acting and writing plays and everything from the theater, from the front of the house to the back of the house. So I'm just basically following my poems as they lead, and they're taking me on some amazing journeys. And yes, I do spit. I do write rhyme. I write songs. I'm a songwriter and spoken word artist and featured artist with Defected Records in the UK, where I write spoken word over their house music beats. And that's a really exciting venture.
I can imagine. So tell a little bit about the differences. Educate me now.
Okay.
Okay, so when you say spoken word,
Yes.
explain what spoken word is.
Okay, spoken word is basically more free verse, which is like we're having a conversation right now. So a spoken word performance would be me standing in front of an audience and performing my piece. Now, a more of a poetic event would be me sitting there reading my pieces. So a poet can transition into the spoken word, and that's more of the performance aspect. The poetry is more of the literary part.
Okay, and then when you say when the young people say the word spitting rhymes, what do they mean when they say that?
You're actually just basically saying in front of the audience, like the spoken word performances. That's what they use is spit.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not actually spitting, but you're spitting.
Right, I can imagine that part. Well, give an example of now you say you do spit rhymes too.
Yes.
Can you give an example of what do you mean when you say spitting a rhyme?
One single rose from the 313, born and raised on the east side of the D. I don't even care that they clown my city. The spirit of Detroit lives within me.
Like I said, so effortlessly.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we've got a few more minutes left. Can you give us another poem that you would like to bless our listening and our viewing audience with?
Okay, sure. This piece is called Fairweather on Detroit Street. Your surface bordered by shady county lines is colored a dull gray. Crescent-shaped swords brought by dimwits who attempt to defame your good name adorn your blemished skin. They throw salt that clogs your pores from the east side to the west. This gets you heated, then you erupt like a volcano, punishing anyone who crosses your path the best way you know how. Now our chariots must dodge the dangerously empty blackheads that adorn your beautiful face after winter's acne explosion. Affectionately, I label them dimples. Though I hate to see them coming, I fell fast for them too, 'cause I ride for you, Detroit. Your spirit born in me on March 13th. Strangers who know nothing about you change your title. The Big D, D-Town, fraudulently claiming your 139 square miles as their native land. Real Detroiters refer to you as Motown or the D. So what up, though? Keep cramping my dude's style, Big Brother's gonna smack you with his dirty mitten. I'm smitten by your mystique, 'cause good girls like bad boys. I'm not the Fairweather friend who'll cower after media mess storms. Trust, I'm gonna tell it like it T.I. is, 'cause I've seen it all from McClellan to Jefferson, Telegraph to Joy Road, Grand River to Broadway, Gratiot to 8 Mile. You make me smile. I love you. I always have. I always will. See, we are family. The tie that binds us likens a marriage. I'll be by your side till death do us part. No matter how furious I get by sins committed inside your house, you'll always be home. I take pride in the D. 313. People around the world are watching, picking up on tidbits of your coolness, trying to be like us. They're quick to put us down, though, but when you're on a come up, everyone wants a piece of your pie. Fairweather friends flock downtown as if they fought for you in the hood, but where were they when you needed them? They're users who hid from your foul stench in the suburbs until roses grew up from your concrete again. Addicted to the fresh new car scent, they skip to the loo, my darling, playing Monopoly on your streets, bulldozing buildings, unlawfully breaking leases of so-called undesirables in preparation for your resurrection. But you didn't die, though. You've spent years hibernating, safely tucked away, managing to emerge as a champion after ridding yourself of the corruption which miseducated our children. Your tarnished reputation is being reformed. It's time to shine, my baby. Dust off that fist. Put the mash down in Detroit's neighborhoods, not just downtown. Give those of us who've never left your side more reasons to fall in love with you. I was born in the D. I've been here. I'm still here. Riding on your tainted asphalt. Poetically patching hollows in your skin with the real. 'Cause I don't ever want you to go into hibernation again.
We need to start doing this too. That was excellent.
Thank you so much.
You know, when I hear you, and you're inspired me to put some pen to paper at the same time
Yes.
now. But when your inspiration, now, do you just have a concept or something? I mean, so that last poem that you just recited, what really was your inspiration for that?
The restructuring of downtown and how there were so many people who were forced out of their businesses and out of their homes to prepare for the stadiums and all the other businesses that are in what we know now as downtown Detroit.
Okay.
So I was born on the east side of Detroit, born on March 13th. I love my city, but no matter where I go, someone has heard something bad about Detroit. So I write to dispel those myths about my city.
I'm really, like I said, I'm one of your biggest fans. So
Thank
if
you.
there's anything that I can do to help promote you and get your message out, please let me know. I would love to have you come back on the show again.
I would like that.
I do want to thank Miss Sharon Dumas, because she was the one that kind of gave me the first enlightenment that you are out there. When I was hosting, in terms of say, when I was emceeing one of her debutante balls that she does through Full and Fabulous.
Yes.
And I knew that when I heard you last year, when we did the fundraiser last year, I'm like, she sounds familiar. Those gifted voices, those gifted words that were coming out of your mouth, I'm like, I've heard those before.
Thank you.
And then when I realized after talking with Ms. Dumas that that's where I heard him at before, I'm like,
Yes.
wow.
Yes.
So
Yes.
definitely let people know, are there any upcoming events that you've got scheduled that if somebody wants to get an opportunity to be blessed with your poetry or your spoken word, that they can come to?
Absolutely. Valentine's Day season is, I'm performing starting basically this weekend up through Valentine's Day. I'm in New York on February 22nd performing with the Queens Underground Film Festival. One of my pieces has placed as a finalist in one of their competitions, and I'll also be doing a poetry workshop and performing at the film festival. The following day I come back with Sean P. Entertainment. We are doing the Vagina Monologues. I'm directing the 8 o'clock show, and all other information is on my website, onesinglerose.com. There's events, poetry events every night of the week in the city. So if you guys are looking for something different to do, you can go to my website, onesinglerose.com, and all the information is there.
Well, if you can, in the last couple of minutes we wrap up, can you just give us one little bit of spit?
Just a little spit.
Just a little bit of spit as we close out.
I see Sharon's watching, so I'm going to do this for her. This is Fat Girl, the piece that I penned for her debutante ball. And it has since screened in 15 film festivals, and the word is still getting out, so I have her to thank for that. This is for my plus-size divas. Thick, voluptuous, plus-sized, curvaceous, full-figured, BBW. Why are there so many different descriptions to identify all this fabulosity? Just call me full of flavor, baby. Not barbecue sauce, ranch, or Lori's. Hot sauce because I'm fierce. Photo shoot fresh, feeling like wealth. I'm about to call the paparazzi on myself. I'm fiery, self-confident, comfortable in my own skin. We still got time.
That was a little tidbit. For those of you that may want to hear more, you got the information, you know to go to the website, you know what number to call. We are blessed to have had you on the show today. We definitely want you to come back on again. If you'd like to get more information, please contact us here at the station. If you'd like to get more information about the Detroit Native Sun newspaper, you can contact Ms. Valerie Lockhart. Her phone number is area code 313-457-5944, and you can pick up a copy of the Detroit Native Sun newspaper, who sponsors our show. You can pick up a copy at the local Kroger supermarket. Again, Ms. Wilson, thank you for coming on the show. We look forward to having you back again. As I told you, this was going to be a great half an hour. So peace, blessings, sympathies to the Bryant family and to the Gibson family as well, too. Have a great rest of the week. Be safe. Let somebody know you love them. Take care.
Love you.